You know what's a bigger waste of money than buying statues? Putting down a non-refundable deposit and then canceling the statue and losing that money. Today on the Extreme Channel, we're going to look at how many statues Mr. X has canceled. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, we've been on this run of top 10 lists lately. So I'm trying to think of top 10 ideas as it relates to collecting. And one of them I came up with was, what are the top 10 statues that you have canceled, Mr. X? Then recently I saw a post that I actually responded to asking how many statues have you canceled and lost your NRD or non-refundable deposit. Thus, this video was born. And this isn't going to be a top 10 list. We're just going to talk about all of them. For the most part, there's going to be some exclusion. Now, before we dive into this, I think we should talk about NRDs or non-refundable deposits. When a statue is made, typically the manufacturer puts the statue up for what we call PO or pre-order. Depending on the manufacturer, whether it's a licensed piece from companies like Sideshow or Prime One Studios, they require usually about 10%. So if it's a $1,000 statue for you math majors, that means you have to put down $100. Wait. Okay, $100. With custom pieces, typically it's a lot more. It's usually about 25 to 30% of the statue, or $300 or $400, sometimes more. Now this money is called non-refundable because it is non-refundable. For the most part, there's a few exclusions. And most statue collectors over the years have canceled one or two statues. Every once in a while you can get the deposit money refunded, specifically from license companies. Usually the license company will refund your money if there are delays to the statue, typically 60 days or more from the anticipated release date. They will also sometimes refund your money if the final product is much different than the original prototype. And then lastly, the most secret way that I practice the most, if you kiss a lot of ass, sometimes they refund your non-refundable deposit. With customs, it's much different. Customs, you rarely, if ever, can get your money back on a deposit. Now today's list, I'm going to go through all of the statues I've canceled. I'm going to talk about whether I got my deposit back or not on each piece, and why I canceled it. Some of the statues I'm not going to talk about that I canceled include statues that I ended up buying later down the road. Now sometimes you can put down a non-refundable deposit for a statue and you change your mind, so you cancel it, you lose the money, and then you decide you want to pick it up later. If you kiss some ass, they might put that original money towards your new purchase. And unfortunately, while I'm not including those on my list, there are a lot of them, I gotta tell you. And then of course there's a few that I canceled because I had duplicate orders. What do you mean by that, Mr. X? Well, Mr. X doesn't like to wait for statues just like you, so sometimes I will order them from multiple places and then cancel whoever can't get it to me first. I know you're thinking, what a waste of money. Well, I typically only do that if I'm fairly certain I'll be able to get my money back on the one I cancel, so I'm not going to talk about those today. However, let's dive in, because there's about 25 purchases that I've canceled over the years before I actually got the statue. And we're going to kind of go in a random order, but some of them do relate to each other. So let's start with this guy right here, the new Heath Ledger premium format from Sideshow Collectibles. I canceled this because I saw it in person at New York Comic Con 2019. And on the other side of Comic Con was Queen Studios, where they first displayed their 1/3 scale Heath Ledger in a very similar position. And to me, it was no contest. Queen Studios was way better and only a few $100s more for a 1/3 scale. So I went ahead and I canceled this one from Sideshow. I did lose the NRD on this one, and I think it was about $60 or so, but totally worth it. This next one I've actually canceled multiple times. This is one you've seen before on the channel. You know I'm so on the fence about this piece. I'm waiting for a great deal on eBay. This is Prime One Studios Kong vs. Skullcrawler. I really like this piece. I think he'll go great with my dinosaurs. I probably will pick him up someday. I ended up canceling him because the final product was very different than the prototype, so I was able to get my money back, which is always a huge plus. This next piece is also from Prime One Studios. This is their Wonder Woman. I ended up canceling her because of delays, so I got all my money back, and I canceled her because I was getting the entire Justice League line. I already had Cyborg and Aquaman, but I decided to get away from this. I also had the Batman as well, so I canceled her, and I can say the same exact story for the Prime One Studios Justice League Flash. I canceled this as well. Thankfully, it was delayed, so I also got my money back due to delays, and it's still available to this day, even though it has a very low edition size number, so I think that says a little bit about it. I do wonder if the Snyder Cut will affect these at all, because I also canceled the Superman. I had the exclusive on all of these, but the Superman, I had some concerns with the suit, and I don't dig that translucent skin that much. And they were doing that on all these statues, but thankfully I got my money back because they were all delayed. Next piece I did lose my NRD on is this Spider-Man Premium Format. The reason why I canceled this is because I don't remember why I bought it. I already have a number of Spider-Man pieces and I have more coming. This looks good, I've seen some reviews on it, but it's just not for me and it was a stupid impulse buy. Another one I lost my non-refundable deposit of about 80 bucks on was the new Thanos from Iron Studios. The reason I canceled him is I had the Infinity War one, so I didn't need two of those that were very similar. Also, as many of you know, I am completely getting out of my Avengers line with few exceptions like life-size busts or thrones, so I no longer even have most of that line. And the same exact thing can be said for the Captain America from Iron Studios. Canceled him, I lost the non-refundable deposit unfortunately, another $60, $70 or so. But in the end I wouldn't have kept him because he would have been a kind of a standalone piece because I have gotten rid of the rest of them. And also shipping that same month, I was trying to cut down, so I got rid of the Sideshow Logan Premium Format. And the reason why I got rid of him is I just did not love that face, either the regular or the exclusive. And a number of custom portraits have been made, so I don't think I'm alone on this, but I did lose the non-refundable deposit, even though I tried to kiss as much ass as possible. Rambo from PCS is another one that I canceled due to delays, so I got all my money back, and I canceled him just because I was tired of waiting. And most of my movie pieces are 1/4 scale, so this wouldn't have fit anyway. And what's funny is the exact reasons I canceled this one are the same for this next piece. 1/3 scale Mike Myers by Pop Culture Shock Toys. So many delays, got tired of waiting, and again, all my other horror pieces are 1/4 scale. I think this probably is the best Michael Myers out there until Prime 1's half scale is released. I do feel comfortable with the decision. I got all my money back, and he would have looked weird next to a 1/4 scale Jason, Freddy, and Leatherface. I also canceled from Pop Culture Shock Toys this Raiden. This was supposed to be released over a year ago today, and it still hasn't come out yet, with no ETA. So I canceled him, got my money back, obviously distributed through Sideshow. Glad I did. I canceled the Blitzway Ecto 1. I canceled this because I got rid of all of my 1/6 scale vehicles, as well as I just got tired of waiting. After so many delays, I thought I could get my money back. I had it fully paid off, so when you can get an extra $1,300, it is definitely a bonus. I canceled Prime 1 Studios The Last Night Megatron. I purchased this because I was looking for the Revenge of the Fallen one and I couldn't find it, so I figured this was the next best thing. 2 weeks after I purchased him and I had him on a payment plan, I got a smoking deal on the Revenge of the Fallen piece on eBay. You guys probably have seen that review. So I went ahead and canceled him. I did lose the non-refundable deposit on him, which was quite a bit. It was about $180, but with the screaming deal I got on the Revenge of the Fallen, I justified it to myself. This next piece is by HCG, Hollywood Collectibles Group. I canceled this Reaper bust because I am never satisfied with HCG pieces. So when I got the delay notice, I thought, you know what? It's a perfect time to cancel. I think their end products are never as good as I hope them to be. Maybe it's my opinion, maybe it's the truth. Hopefully, someday I can get an awesome Reaper bust. This next piece I also canceled due to delays, so I got my money back. That is this piece from First 4 Figures. This is from a game I've never played, Dark Souls. This is called the Mimic. I thought this just looked like a badass creature. I bought it on an impulse buy, but in the end I decided there's no place for him in my collection, and he was delayed, so I took that opportunity to cancel him and get all my money back. A shocking one for a lot of people is going to be Sideshow's Gambit Premium Format. I got rid of him because I had 3 other Gambits on order. Now I only have 2. I think he may be the best Gambit that's out there. However, I can't justify having multiple other Gambits, and some of those were customs or XM Studios where I can't get my money back. So it made more sense for a secondary character for me. Why would I have 3 or 4 of the same piece? Let's just cancel him because of the delays and get my money back. This Predator wrist blade from Prime One Studios, I also canceled when it was ready to ship because frankly, I don't know where it would go in my collection. I do have a lot of life-size busts, but I figured I can cancel this, lose 50 bucks, and call it a day. And the exact same reason can be said for the one with the Shuriken. And actually, I think it was only $40 per piece I lost, but just made more sense to get rid of it. I did end up canceling the Sentinel diorama from XM Studios. I did get my money back because the seller is awesome. When I pre-ordered him years and years ago, I had an idea where I'd put him. Well, that filled up with other statues, and not only that, but Iron Studios is coming out and it has a lot more of the key characters. So I'm going with the Iron Studios diorama instead, but I will surely miss this one. It is going to be an awesome, awesome piece. So we're not finished yet, we have one more to go, but I think you've noticed the trend is when I get a delay notice, the first question I ask myself is, do I really need this piece? Because I have a small statue addiction problem. I actually did a video about it the other day right here. It's sometimes good to reevaluate how badly you need that statue. Now, as you may have noticed, there were no customs in there. As I said, customs, you pretty much can't get your money back, so I don't ever want to look at a loss like that. There are a few I'm considering that I have on pre-order right now, but the only custom I've ever canceled is this Leia Bounty Hunter. And I canceled this for multiple reasons. One, I wasn't happy the direction it was going. The other, you can actually look at the statues I wish I wouldn't have bought video right here. So canceled her, lost my deposit. I believe it was only $100 or so. So I'm not gonna lose sleep over that. So that's it, that's the list. And I know you're wondering, what is the total? I've never calculated it, and I don't really care to, because knowing the total will just put me in a bad mood. It won't be productive. But the best parts of my video are right now. This is where you comment below how many statues you've canceled, or maybe you know how much money you've lost on NRDs or non-refundable deposits. Let's put that below and let's see how many tens of thousands of dollars we've all collectively lost that the statue companies have raked in. I hope you guys enjoyed this, something a little bit different, not exactly a top 10 countdown, but still kind of fun. Check out some of these other top 10 countdowns in this playlist, and if you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the right, because for all the statues I cancel, I buy about 10 new ones, and those are all coming to the review table. Thanks so much for watching. I will talk to you tomorrow. Take care.